Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm going to start the recording just to kind of honor our time frame. People will continue to jump on, I know that. So that will be just fine. That'll be great. So thank you guys so much for joining me. So this is something that I think is very important for all of us right now. You know, as you know, we're definitely going through some challenging times on this planet in a huge way. And it's actually kind of exciting on one hand, you know, although it can be quite difficult. And I think that we're all being called to raise our frequency, raise our vibration to a higher state of being. And tonight you're really going to understand a little bit more, perhaps in depth, of why and how it's so essential for your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body, if you want to stay strong, healthy, aligned, and powerful. So I think I'll just go ahead and get started. You guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to type them into the chat, and I will answer them as we go along. Okay? All right. So during these stressful times, you know, it's quite challenging. It's really important for us to keep our vibration high. And we really have to take down basically all the drama, stress, negative energy that seems to be all around us, you know, because it really impacts us on every single level of our being, and we don't have to let it. So we don't want to hold humanity back, but we are in a tremendous transformational shift. It's actually quite exciting if you get to look at the very big picture. So consider this quote right here by Nikola Tesla, and I'm sure that you guys have heard this. If you want to find out the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So if you don't fully understand the depth of that, you will, perhaps, I'm hoping, after we go through this tonight. All right. So do you know that each of our almost 8 billion people on this planet, we all have different human consciousness, and we're oscillating at different rates of vibration and frequencies, and it fluctuates. So those that have faster and slower frequencies, depending on how they perceive what is occurring in their experience. Okay, some people can vibrate lower, some higher. But this is very interesting. As our rate of frequency increases, so does our level of power. So don't forget that. This power comes in the form of clarity. We're more clear. Our faster rates of consciousness really perceive more, a wider, bigger picture of what is actually occurring for our benefit. We see the good in everything, the big picture, as opposed to the limited picture, what we fear may be happening. So we really have to widen back and look at the big picture. The more clear our vision, the faster the dissonance resolves. So instead of being confused, we become calm, more peaceful, more powerful, more loving, more aware. So with faster rates of consciousness comes the expansion of conscious awareness. And that's really what we're all here trying to do, right? It's very important. So what if you could easily rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul, right? Well, you certainly can. And of course, as you know, everything is energy. Everything has an energy or a vibration. And I'm sure that you can all feel it if you really put your attention on it. Do you feel it if somebody's angry or somebody's depressed or lonely or fearful or in pain? Of course you do. We feel their energy. We feel their vibe in a sense. Do you also feel it when somebody's happy, joyful, compassionate, loving? Of course you do. You know, we all do. So it's really a much different energy, isn't it? It really feels different. So what do you think that does to your health? If you're feeling a higher vibration, more joy, more happiness, more peace, more calm, it certainly has a huge impact on your body. Your cells are responding to absolutely everything you say, do, and feel. That's the way it works. So let's review some simple and easy tricks to support our health and vitality. Okay? So tonight we're going to explore a variety of things. I want to keep this kind of as short as we possibly can. but it will take probably an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. That's my goal anyway. So we're going to explore what our innate abilities are, our higher consciousness. We're going to explore getting energy from the sun as well as the earth, the vibration of emotions, the role of fear and self-doubt, the foods we consume and what to avoid, essential oils, energy devices, EMFs, using sound and light for healing, clearing our biofield and our DNA, using holographic frequencies for healing, and shifting our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. So that's a little overview of what we're going to be exploring tonight. And again, for those that are just popping on, welcome and thank you for joining us. If you do have questions, feel free to put it in the chat box. Okay, that's good. All right, now this is something that you may or may not already know, but do you know that humans are frequency and energy based? Now I want to explain this because your health is as well. Do you know that a healthy body functions usually between the physical body's 62 to 68 megahertz, which is million pulses per second, which is why we appear solid. It's going so fast, it looks like we're solid. A healthy brain is about 70 to 72 megahertz. A genius brain is about 80 megahertz. So if you're above 62 megahertz, you have a strong immune system, good vitality. If you are below 60 megahertz, you're vulnerable to disease, ailments, weaknesses. So the interesting part is, so if you guys understand, the megahertz is million pulses per second. So when you focus on negativity, it can lower your megahertz by 12 megahertz. If you're consuming acidic substances, it can lower your vibration from 14 to 23 megahertz lower. Lack of sleep, stress, processed foods, unhealthy relationships, even drinking coffee can lower your frequency by 14 megahertz. Smoking a cigarette can lower it by 23 megahertz. What if you're doing that on a regular basis? But at the same time, if you focus on positivity, it can increase your megahertz by 10 megahertz. Meditating is one of the best things to do to increase your vibration by 15 megahertz. That's huge. Giving and receiving prayer also increases it by 15 megahertz. Using high frequency essential oils, we'll review some of these. Getting good rest, nutritious food, fresh air, positive mantras, affirmations, they all help to increase our vibration and frequency. Okay? It's very important that we understand that, and I'm going to tell you why. Right here, you're going to see the frequency of an average body organ. It's the frequency of the organs, like the thyroid and parathyroid, are about 62 to 68 megahertz. Thymus gland as well. Heart, 67 to 70 megahertz when it's healthy. Lungs, 58 to 65. Liver, 55 to 60. Stomach, 58 to 65. Pancreas, 60 to 80. That can vary a little bit. Descending colon, ascending colon as well. So anyway, like I just said, the healthy human body vibrates between 62 and 68 megahertz. So do you know that you cannot even catch a cold unless you're down to 59 megahertz? That's the frequency of a cold. The flu is a vibration of 57 to 58 megahertz. So if you keep your vibration high, you cannot get the flu. You will actually be vibrationally immune to it. Cancers are very low vibrating at about 40 megahertz. Okay, the lower your vibration, the more acidic your body pH is. And the more inflammation you have in your body, and the more likelihood that disease can occur. So that's really important for us to understand. This should give us some fuel for, why it's important for us to really take good care of ourselves. The body cannot survive below 20 megahertz. That's when death begins. So keeping your vibration high is really one of the best things that you can do for your health. And where does your true power come from? You could say, mine comes from God or Goddess. all that is, divine source, your innate intelligence, universal consciousness, the one, Christ consciousness, higher power, supreme being, Jehovah, Yeshua, basically whatever name you want to give it. It's basically a higher power. And if we can eliminate what pulls us off center and reduces our inner power, that's where we get a higher vibration. Because normally when we stay centered and aligned with our divine source, that's where we get a tremendous amount of love and power and wisdom and compassion. See, so we're going to go over a few things here. So one of the things you could do is really bring in your God energy. You know, what if daily you could offer blessings to your food? Remember when we were kids, like we used to bless our food all the time? Bless your water, bless your gardens, bless your family, bless your friends, bless your day, bless your society, even bless your leaders. Because when you offer blessings, you're saying, I am one with the divine. I am a divine being, basically. So bring in that blessing. Blessings and prayers every day can actually increase your vibration tremendously. Okay? You can offer a simple morning prayer like, Dear God, I ask that this day be blessed in every way. May my day be a day of heaven on earth for myself and all who I encounter. Thank you, and so it is. Or here's one here. God, please enlighten my mind with truth, inflame my heart with love, inspire my will with courage, enrich my life with service, pardon what I have been, sanctify what I truly am, and order what I shall be. Thank you. So anything that feels right to you. You know, we all have our different perspectives, viewpoints. So whatever feels right to you, remember to bring in your divine attributes. Okay? Another thing that's extremely powerful is connecting with the energy of the sun. The sun actually feeds us all kinds of galactic information, frequencies, vibrations. And lately we've been having tremendous coronal mass ejections, which are also known as solar flares, which are really bombarding us with higher frequencies. Sometimes they can be a little challenging to those of us who are sensitive, but it's extremely helpful to be aware of connecting with the sun. So you could use the healing power of sun gazing. You may have heard about this already. So many cultures use sun gazing to increase vitality and spirituality. It's really a simple practice. Ideally, you take a few minutes within an hour after sun rises or an hour before it sets. It's when the sun is closest to the surface, or the horizon, I should say. So step outside, put your feet on the ground, barefoot if you want, and even just look at the sun for about 10 to 15 seconds. But actually, be aware that you are not actually looking directly at the sun. You should look to the east of the sun, right? Like let's say at 3 o'clock, to the south of the sun, to the west of the sun, and finally the north of the sun. And think loving thoughts about yourself and the planet. So really, you're just looking around the edges of the sun. And you can slowly increase your gaze by 5 seconds to maybe 10 seconds at the most each day, but only doing this within the first hour of sunrise or just before sunset. So not when the sun is higher, so you don't damage your eyes. For me, I'm not usually up at sunrise. And I live in a mountain where my sunset gets blocked by the mountain to the west, so I don't often do this. But what I love to do is go sit outside with bare feet in the morning, facing the sun to do my meditation. And that also can be very powerful. Or another thing that I recommend a lot, some of my clients or practitioners that are on here will recognize this one. Imagine a divine golden column of light shining upon you. You can do a short visualization or a meditation, really imagining a wide column of divine golden light coming down from the galactic center, the great central sun, going through our sun, and coming right down through your crown chakra, through the top of your head, and bring it down into your body, infuse it into every single cell in your body. Bring more light into your body. Increase your body's capacity to absorb light. Bring it into your brain, your mind. Bring it into your throat, your heart center. Bring it all the way down your spine and anchor it, sending it deep down into the earth, anchoring it into the crystal core of the earth. And expand this column out to include your entire energy field. And with intention, you can also shine divine light into all dark places on the earth. I love doing that in a meditation, just bringing in this brilliant, divine, loving, wise, compassionate, divine light and shine it into all darkness, whether it's within yourself or anywhere on this planet. That's really a beautiful, powerful, intentional meditation that will increase vibration. Okay? And grounding. Boy, my guides keep telling me, and this has been going on for a bit here, people need to ground. We are usually a pretty ungrounded group of people. You know, we spend so much time in our houses, in our cars, in our buildings. Even if you say, oh, I love taking walks, but usually we have shoes on, which insulates us from the ground. Okay? So grounding is a really therapeutic technique that involves doing activities that ground you electrically, reconnecting you to the earth. We've become insulated from connected to the earth. We are electrical beings. We have light in every single cell, and we have electrical impulses. So it's essential that we ground and connect with the energy of the earth, especially if you sleep more than 10 feet above the earth. Like if you're on second floor or more, it's essential that you ground. So it actually, when you ground, which is either putting your bare feet, your hands, your body, anything on the earth, hugging a tree, it drains inflammation in your body. And it has many other health benefits as well. So if you're experiencing a lot of pain and muscle aches and headaches, if you're around a tremendous amount of Wi-Fi, if you live in a city or if you lived in a place where there's, you know, a lot of cell phone towers, 5G, all that, then you really want to ground as much as you can. One of the things that I do if you can't ground is you can always pick up crystals that you like. It might be an amethyst crystal or rose quartz crystal or regular quartz. You know, I even use sometimes just bracelets that are made of all different kinds of stones, because that's connecting me. Stones and crystals come from the earth, and when we connect with them, it helps us to ground. You can even picture a grounding cord going down. So down through your spine, down to the earth, as well as from both of your feet. Picture roots going out of both of your feet and going down as deeply as you can. So when you ground and just put out roots into the earth there, it actually makes you more resilient. It makes you stronger. Think of a big old tree that has massive roots, right? It is very much grounded. It's very much, it's got a tremendous amount of strength, okay? So grounding, and even using something like earthing mats or grounding mats. We use one on our bed. You can put, like this picture here is a small one you can put underneath your desk where you sit, okay? Because it's actually plugged into your electrical system in your house, and your electrical system that goes through your entire house or your office, wherever you may be, actually has to be grounded into the earth. So when you use a grounding mat, it's actually plugged in and it connects with the ground of your electrical system in your home. So chronic fatigue, in a study on massage therapists, many reported a decrease in their fatigue levels after 4 weeks of treatment with grounding mats. So my husband is actually a rolfer. He's a massage therapist, and he uses a grounding mat on his table for people. Chronic pain, another study on grounding for exercise recovery found that those who use grounding patches reported lower pain levels. Anxiety and depression. In another study, it was shown that even 1 hour of grounding therapy can significantly improve your mood. Sleep disorders. Massage therapists also experienced an improvement in sleep length and reduced sleep disturbances with grounding therapy. Cardiovascular disease, another result of one treatment study, found that long-term self-administered grounding therapy helped to reduce blood pressure levels with people with hypertension. So I know for myself, when I used to live in Asheville, basically there were a lot more cell phone towers around, and we also had smart meters put in, which really put me over the top where I was so electrosensitive I could not sleep. And once I moved out into the country and grounded, it's like no problem. I can sleep really great. And I don't have the pain and inflammation that I did when I was around way too much Wi-Fi. So we're also going to talk about emotions in a sense. So are your emotions bringing you up or bringing you down? So they have a huge impact on your frequency, your pH, and your overall well-being. So we actually have to eliminate negativity and judgments and really embrace more love, compassion, and kindness. So as you see these two spirals, the downward spiral is when we have, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, unworthiness, guilt, fear, depression, powerless, feeling like a victim. All those things really lower your frequency, and they really open the door to invite in illness and disease. But as you go up in the spiral, keep yourself kind of above the line where you have contentment, hopefulness, optimism, positive beliefs, enthusiasm, passion, joy, love, kindness, freedom, appreciation. Those are all higher frequency vibrations that can bring you up or bring you down. I will explore it a little bit more. So notice when your emotions and reactions are coming from a lower vibrating energy. It can be frustration, worry, doubt, blame, anger, grief, depression, pessimism, shame, anything. Just pay attention. It's usually always associated with a judgment. So our society has really taught us that we tend to, like, we should label things and judge it, and blame things outside of ourselves. Do you know, as human beings, we tend to spend almost all of our attention is outside of ourselves. What's going on in your house, in your home, in your relationship, in your job, in your career, and people that you talk to, and your friends, what's going on the outside? We need to start spending more time and attention on our inner reflection and our inner self. We have to balance it, okay? So when we are judging something, it brings our vibration down and it gives away your power. It's reducing your power, which will affect your health. It's going to drain your energy levels and can even create pain in the body. So what can you do to increase your vibration? Okay. Do you know you always have a choice in every single moment? I call it the state of grace. In any moment, you can shift and change your mind. So at the bottom here, okay, just check this out. In ignorance, you're unconscious of the fact that you're engaging in disempowering behavior. You're not even aware of it. When you go up a little bit, post-behavioral awareness, you become conscious of the disempowering behavior, but only after the fact. It's like, oh, damn, I shouldn't have said that, right? Present awareness, you're conscious that you're engaging in a disempowering behavior while you're doing it. And you might stop yourself at that moment. Choice, you are conscious that you are about to engage in a behavior, and in that moment, you have a choice to do something about it. It's like, nope, I don't think I should say that. I don't think I should do this. And empowerment is when you have transformed the disempowering behavior with a new empowering behavior. So one of the things I often will suggest to people is, if you hear yourself saying, judgments, limiting beliefs, kind of tell yourself to just put up a little stop sign in your head and say, whoops, nope, that's limiting, that's negative, that's judging, that's fearful, that's anger, and immediately stop and change it. And you might shift it to something that is more positive to kind of neutralize it, balance it out a little bit. Okay? So you may be aware of Dr. David Hawkins, who wrote the book a number of years ago on power versus force, the hidden determinants of human behavior. And he uses frequencies to determine, like under the column log here, frequencies between kind of 0 and 1,000. And he said the majority of human consciousness is somewhere about 200. Now, we can increase our vibration as we go through our life. But if you really look at what's below the line here, be aware of when we feel pride and anger and fear and grief and guilt and anxiety and hate and despair and blame and shame, being disappointed, being irritated, frightened, feeling hopeless, feeling miserable, feeling evil. These things are all very low vibrations of conscious awareness. But if you try to be aware of staying above the line and to have some courage to shift things, use some affirmations, become neutral, where you're not judging something, you're accepting that everything just is the way it is. Every person is just the way they are. We're all at different levels of growth, awareness, and expansion, and allow that to be. Everybody's on their own divine path, and it's absolutely perfect. Even when someone's in their biggest drama and difficulty in life, you can look at them with love and think, wow, they're really creating their life. They are a divine, powerful, creative being, and they're creating their life for them to get what they really need to understand and learn on a soul level. That's real compassion. So you might feel more hopeful. You might have forgiveness. You might be accepting of others, have more understanding, more reverence. You might find more meaning to things, more love, compassion, joy, peace, kindness. Everything becomes, it's just, life is beautiful, unfolding. The universe is unfolding exactly as it needs to at all times. It doesn't need us to try to push against it, stop it, control it. We try to do these things, but we end up getting quite frustrated because it doesn't usually work, right? So let's explore this a little bit more. So here's the map of consciousness too. So let's take a closer look at the lower vibrating emotions here. They can easily be spotted, and once you become aware of them, you now have a choice as to what you want to do about it. You can decide that I'm going to do something. When I feel myself going into these lower vibrational energies, I say, whoa, this is not good. This is not who I truly am. This is old patterned behavior, perhaps. So just deciding to shift your energy, your mood, and doing something to support it will be all you need to do. So discover what works best for you. Try incorporating several of these suggestions into your life right now, and you'll quickly see how things can shift. Go above the line. Stay above the line. Dissolve negativity. Find your true innate intelligence, your innate power. For persistent hidden patterns, which we all have, that keep coming up, I do recommend biofield clearing, which I'll explain later, because it really helps us to identify and release these old subconscious and unconscious patterns. We're not always conscious of them. We're actually only conscious of 10% of what's really going on. Do you know 90% of it comes from our subconscious and unconscious mind? We have things on automatic pilot. We have patterns from our family, from our society that we have learned. We have old traumas and things like that resurface, as we're trying to live our life. So become aware of what's going on the inside. And take an energy break. Okay, I love this little picture. Notice every single little thing in life that brings you joy. It might be beautiful flowers, listening to a bird song, a child's laughter, someone you love that smiles, gives you a hug, listening to beautiful music, singing in your car, seeing a gorgeous sunset, uplifting reading that inspires you, and embrace a hug from somebody, or taking a walk in nature. How often can you take a walk in the middle of a natural setting, in the middle of the woods or the forest, or even along a beach? And how can you stay angry? You know, it shifts us as we blend with the frequency of nature. So be in the moment. So right now, can you smile for no good reason? Just smile and see how that affects you. Can you feel the energy of contentment? Can you be present? We very often are thinking about the past, or we're thinking about the future and what we have to do. Just breathe, put your attention on your inner self, and be present in the moment. In the moment, are you happy? Are you okay? Are you safe? Yes. So what or who do you truly appreciate? What do you love? You know, dance to some high energy music. Find things to laugh about out loud. You know, watch a lighthearted comedy or laugh with some friends. Turn off your TV, definitely, especially turn off the news, and limit your time on social media. They can really wreak havoc with our vibration, with our awareness. It can be kind of like programming. If you think about TV programs and even news programs, it is programming. Let go of it. You steer your own ship. You decide where you're going, how you want to feel, what you want to be, what you want your day to be like. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the role of fear in these times, because fear is something that's been quite prominent in this whole time of all this pandemic stuff. Fear is used to manipulate you, to keep you locked in more fear because you're more controllable. It's fuel for those who would have you fail. It can warn you when something needs to change, either your behavior or your belief, or maybe where you're at. You know, I mean, there's an innate fear when you're in danger, which is an instinct really, that lets you know that you need to move, right? But one of the fastest ways to dissolve fear is to speak directly to it. Okay, why am I so afraid of this? Acknowledge it. Ask, what am I needing to learn here? What is this trying to show me? Why is this getting my attention? Be open to receiving any information that may come flooding in, showing you what you need to change. It's often a lack of alignment. This is interesting, between your mind, your words, and your actions. You're out of integrity with yourself. So realign with your higher self. When you are aligned with your divine source, your highest self, you don't have the fear. You know, but we so often throughout our day, throughout our life, we get pulled off center. And do you know that underneath all fear is usually a belief in your inability to handle something? Oh my God, what if I can't handle this? Turn it into a gift, learn from it, and then let it go. Know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are more powerful. So what vibration are you putting out? Are you afraid of this fear of getting sick, getting this flu, getting this vaccine, having your freedoms taken away? When you are really entrained in that fear, you are inviting it into your life. You are becoming a vibrational match for it, and you will attract it. What are you attracting? And what are your beliefs? You might want to explore your beliefs and ask yourself, take some time to write down, what do I believe about myself, my abilities, my health, my career, the people around me, my society, my government, my life? You know, really look at that. So the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. Don't be afraid to just dive in and look at, why am I so afraid of this? No, because that's where you will find your own strength. So these are some of the top self-limiting beliefs. You know, oh gosh, I'm too old. I'm actually going whitewater rafting tomorrow down a river. And I'm thinking, oh my God, can I still do this? Am I too old? Am I not smart enough, not educated enough? You know, we're afraid of trying and failing. We're afraid, what if we don't have enough money? Or I've heard this one a million times, I've tried everything. Nothing works for me. When I hear people say that, I think you just limited yourself, put yourself inside of a box. You need to break out of that box. Or it's selfish of me to want more. You know, like you don't deserve it. So that's a really powerful one that so many people, it limits us, that you feel not worthy, you don't deserve it, or you don't have willpower. You don't have the strength to change something. All the good ones are taken, all the best jobs are taken, the best people, you know? So how do you limit yourself? Are you afraid of getting sick? I have no fear of getting COVID. Do you have a fear of difficulty? Like, oh, what if something's difficult for me? I might fail. Or do you think that you don't deserve good things? So really explore that within yourself, because these are the things that are pulling your vibration down. And these are the things that you have power over. Okay. So what if those beliefs didn't exist anymore? So think of that belief, just the one that's most common for everybody is the fact that we don't feel like we deserve it. You know, we're not worthy. What if that didn't exist? What if we felt totally worthy and deserving to be, do, have, feel, and enjoy all that we want to? And it is not something you have to limit yourself with because you feel like you're being selfish, if you also want everyone else to have their own joy and happiness and power. You know, having money is not a bad thing. Greed is when I want it, but I don't want you to have it. I'm just considering myself. But if I think we should all be abundant, we should all be happy, I want you to be happy, I want you to be abundant, then how do I assist that? That is not greed. Okay? That's compassion. That's service to humanity. So really consider what your beliefs are, and what if they didn't exist anymore? What if they just totally didn't exist? How would your life be? So when you change your thoughts, you can change your world in an instant. Shift the way you think, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, okay? And do you know spiritual immunity is a real thing? We have physical immunity, we can have emotional immunity and mental, but if you stay in a higher vibe, and if you're really being aware of shifting your vibration, you can stay aligned and centered with your true innate self, your higher self, your innate intelligence, okay? Your divine source. Your higher self is really totally empowered, and it just observes. It does not judge. It's kind, loving, compassionate. Stay connected and aware with your higher self. And what about using the power of claiming intentions? I love this. These are some of the ones that I have written that sometimes I keep it next to my bed, tucked into one of my books, and I like to read these. I am created from all that is and contain infinite power, love, wisdom, and joy beyond my wildest dreams. I now claim my innate abilities and divine attributes. Every cell in my body is perfect, healthy, energetic, and balanced. I'm accessing and activating all of my brain and my DNA to own and use my power, to wield it wisely and well, to live a longer, happier, and healthier life. My immune system is intact and functions perfectly and optimally. I am invincible and being healed, protected from, impervious to, and unaffected by all disease, illness, conditions, lower vibrations, or negative energies. I have mental, emotional, physical, and magnetic balance with a strong, healthy metabolism and a vibrant, youthful energy. What if you were to claim these things out loud every single day, over and over? I mean, you don't have to say it over and over again, but every day you're claiming these things out loud to the universe. You're connecting with your innate intelligence, your divine source, and you are claiming these statements. These are power statements. When you say, I am, you are a powerful creative being. You're creating these things. Think of how that shifts your life, your body. So we all have old traumas, hidden trapped emotions, core fears, inherited and ancestral patterns, self-sabotage. We can have addictions. All these things still need to be healed. They keep showing up. They're in our subconscious and unconscious mind, right? And they can bring our energy down and limit our creative ability. So part of our healing process throughout our life is working through and healing these old wounds, any blocked energy, any negative archetypes, stuck chakras, and more. Finding out what is in your energy field that we are here to heal, you know? So if you think about it, humanity has been a very traumatized species for tens of thousands of years. We've had all kinds of violence, traumas, disasters going on. And when these things happen to our ancestors or even in our family lineage, it creates a shock to the body. And all disease and illness initiate from a shock in the body. And if we don't heal it, then it gets passed on to the next generation and the next, but they come in on an unconscious level. And they show up as these transparent filters that we see our life through. So biofield clearing, I just want to mention, this is a really powerful technique in a sense where we can identify very easily what exactly is in the biofield and release these trapped energies. So I actually developed this over many years of my practice and a lot of training that I've had, where we use basically 22 charts. I'll tell you that in a minute. But what if you could turn off, neutralize, clear, and just turn off those negative vibrations so they're no longer affecting you? They're not affecting your DNA and your energy field. They are like toxic debris in our DNA. So how does this work? We use 21 charts along with special dowsing techniques. We can easily identify what is underneath your chronic struggles and concerns in life. Maybe it's relationship problems that keep coming up. Maybe it's financial, money issues. Maybe it's chronic health conditions. We have a lot of chronic pain and suffering. Maybe there's just a lot of self-sabotage and we can't seem to get around it. So once we identify these things, we can easily find out where it came from, what realm did it come from, and when. Did it get trapped in this lifetime? Did you inherit it? Is it from a past life that never got resolved? Is it from an ancestral collective consciousness pattern? Doesn't matter. And then in this technique, we use some ancient Egyptian pendulums based on sacred geometry. And we create a powerful magnetic vortex and a column of light to kind of draw out and release these things. We're actually neutralizing them. And then once we neutralize and clear a number of things in somebody's energy field, whether it's our own or somebody else's, then we have some positive charts to infuse divine golden light, positive energy. What virtues you're here to master. What are some of the positive things? What are your inner healing keys? And chronic problems, even chronic pain, can shift instantly when you get down to the core. Sometimes it's like peeling away layers of an onion. You still have to work on that. So if you're really wanting to do some amazing cleanup work, either find a certified biofield clearing practitioner like myself, and I know there's several of you on here watching this, or join the next upcoming course. I do have one starting in July. And learn how to do it for yourself and your family. It's actually quite easy. Okay? Now let's talk about foods that we eat, because everything has vibration, right? Everything is an energy. It has a frequency. So are the foods you are eating daily in their whole natural state? Do you include things like fresh fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds or sprouts? Foods derived from nature, still in their whole state, are the highest vibrations. Consider foods that are highly processed, like boxed foods, right? Or they contain artificial ingredients, genetically modified ingredients, chemically laden foods with pesticides and preservatives, extremely low frequency, and even especially ones that have processed sugar in them. And there are so many. So they will actually utilize, take up, absorb more energy just to deal with the digestion and elimination of them. So it's actually they're gonna lower your vibration instead of add to your vibration. Think of like a savings account. Are you building it, or are you constantly draining it and going into the overdraft constantly? They also create an unhealthy acidic state in the body, where disease takes hold, inflammation will increase, and your vibration plummets. You are more prone to disease, okay? So this is how you can raise or lower your frequency. So if you start with the bottom here, processed foods, a lot of different meats, and it doesn't mean that you can't have any of these things, but we usually tend to eat a lot of them, and they're very low vibration. You really want to look for, if you're going to have meats and stuff, have good quality meat, organic grass-fed beef, or naturally raised organic free-range turkey, or wild fish. You don't want farm-raised. Ugh. So processed food, canned food, a lot of dairy products are all very processed. Fried foods can be extremely processed. Oh, let's see, a lot of things with sauces and stuff. So, and then look at your vegetables, right? Cabbage, lettuce, spinach, kale, peas, cauliflower, all that stuff. They start having a positive vibration for you. And think of your fruits, especially berries. Berries are phenomenal. A lot of your fruits can have an even higher vibration. Herbs can have a higher vibration as well. Foods that come from trees. Do you know that the frequency of honey is equivalent to the frequency of classical music? Isn't that awesome? It comes from the bees. But frequency of processed sugar or high fructose corn syrup is extremely low vibration. It's very addictive. It's probably one of the worst substances you can take. If you really want to have sugar, you may want to go with just raw cane sugar from sugar cane. It's not processed. Or maple syrup or honey, or even stevia. Okay. Now, also think of fresh herbs as well as superfoods that really contain a high mineral and life force energy. A lot of superfoods like raw cacao, chocolate. If you're going to have chocolate, enjoy it, but make sure it's over 70% pure cacao and very little sugar. I love seaweed. Think of raw nuts like almonds, walnuts, pecans, spirulina, lemons, goji berries, mangosteen, limes. Those all have a higher vibration as well. And consider essential oils. And anything that is very rich in chlorophyll, wheatgrass, spirulina, chlorella, all of these things, blue-green algae, extremely high frequency. And you know why? Because they contain more sunlight. They absorb more sun from photosynthesis. It brings more light into your body. Your cells, every single cell in your body has light. We can have a diminished light or we can have a vibrant light. Increase your ability to absorb and increase the light in your body, and you will be healthier and more powerful and have a higher vibration. So things to avoid. Do not microwave your food. It will destroy the nutritional value of the food. So basically, microwaving is an artificial means of heating food. Since the beginning of time, caveman time, we use heat, the element of fire, right? When you microwave, it actually doesn't use heat. It uses friction to jumble up the molecules to create heat, an artificial heat. But your body was designed hundreds of thousands of years ago to identify the molecular structure of plants and foods and vegetables. And your body says, oh, this is nice organic broccoli. I know what that is and I know how to utilize it. The minute you put even nice organic broccoli into the microwave and it jumbles up the molecules, or even water, your body says, I have no clue what that is, and it stores it as a toxin. You just destroyed the food. Poor quality foods will rob your body of energy and drain your necessary nutrients just to deal with those poor foods. Meats that are poorly raised, bad. They're fed crappy food. They're given antibiotics daily so they don't get sick. They're injected with hormones. They really do wreak havoc on your body. Processed sugar is the most dangerous legal substance there is, and it's legal. When you ingest it, isn't this interesting? It overrides your ability to process emotions. When you crave sugar, ask yourself, what emotions am I trying to avoid? Because the minute we eat sugar, it says, oh, good, I feel better. I don't have to deal with that emotion right now. And of course, artificial ingredients, genetically modified foods, foods sprayed with glyphosates like Roundup, especially wheat, all corn, so many different foods. If it's not organic, it's been treated. So think about how much energy gets drained daily just having to process and deal with a poor diet. You know, you're really draining yourself. So consider making much wiser choices in your food consumption to increase your vibration and ensure good health, right? Now, essential oils, I absolutely love, always have. They are very high vibrating concentrations from plants. So these are listed in megahertz. So think about like rose oil, 320 megahertz. Remember the human body's 62 to 68 megahertz? Helichrysum, frankincense is very high. Do you know ylang-ylang is extremely high? I think that's over 400. Lavender, myrrh, melissa, which is lemon balm, sandalwood, peppermint, basil, those are all high frequency oils. And whether you spray them, use them in a steam, I'll talk about that in just a moment. You can bring them into your body, put them on your body. So, and that's, of course, the frequency of different organs. You want to keep your organs fairly high. So a headache can be 67 to 88 megahertz. The flu is about 58, sometimes lower. Viral infections. We have so many different viruses. We'll always have viruses. Do you know that there has never been a successful coronavirus vaccine, ever? Because viruses are constantly mutating. They're constantly changing. Since the beginning of time, we'll always have viruses. We always will. But when you keep your immune system strong, your body deals with it and it builds your natural immunity. Of course, cancer is a very low frequency. When people have any kind of cancer, diabetes, neurological conditions, their frequency is very low and they need to do some major changes. And there's always some very strong emotional components underneath it that need to be addressed as well, not just physical. So what can you do with essential oils, right? They're highly concentrated. They're derived from aromatic plants. They contain high vibrating frequencies and are often used for healing. So some of the highest ones we just talked about here, even blue spruce, extremely high. So one of my favorite things to do, especially when you're feeling any kind of congestion, is to use them in a steam inhalation where you have a bowl of hot, steamy water, 1 or 2 drops with a towel over your head. When you breathe them in, they turn to minute particles that go into your nose, your throat, and your lungs. And they're almost all essential oils are antibacterial. They'll clear out congestion and bacteria instantly. You can use it in a spray on your body. Will immediately increase your vibration. I keep a little bottle of rose water on my desk here that I've infused with frequencies. And anytime I feel stressed, I just spray it around me and just totally, refreshes my energy field. So if you're not feeling good, even plug the drain in your shower and add a few drops of essential oil. Your feet will absorb the oils. The steam, you will be breathing in the oils. Put a few drops of lavender or your favorite oil on your fingertips. So here's a great tip too. If you're feeling stressed, do you know lavender has over 100 medicinal qualities to it? But one is it's very calming. So when you put lavender oil, it's inexpensive. Almost everybody has that. Right underneath your earlobes and slide down. And that's where the vagus nerve is closest to the body. So you can put some under each ear, on your wrist, your temples, your heart center, or massage the bottom of your feet, and it'll go right into your meridians. Put a few drops of lavender oil in the rinse water of your washer, especially your bed sheets. I got a gift for Christmas, which are these kind of like white wool balls. They're like the size of a tennis ball. There's 3 of them. And the thing is that you put a few drops of essential oils on them and put them in your dryer, and it keeps things wrinkle-free and static-free, but also it infuses the scent of the oils into your clothing and your sheets. It's nice. You can also place a few drops on a tissue and keep it in your pocket to breathe in during the day, or place that tissue underneath your pillowcase. So when you lay on it, it warms it up. This is great for children if they're feeling congestion or they need to be calmed, they're a little stressed. Use an infuser to put essential oil steams into the air. That's a great way to kill germs and viruses in the air, or even a spray. It purifies the air. So they're really great. So enjoy essential oils, but just know, keep them away from children because they're highly, highly concentrated. You don't need very much, 1 or 2 drops. That's it. You don't want a child to mistakenly drink that. That could be very dangerous. And I really do not suggest that you use essential oils internally unless you're well trained. Okay? Use it on the outside of your body because it'll get absorbed into your bloodstream and it'll be a little bit safer. So why don't we talk about frequency devices for a few minutes? Okay, so there's really a growing popularity of frequencies for healing, and it's for good reason. People are understanding more and more now that everything's about energy and frequencies, right? So I've been using and teaching using specific frequencies for healing since 2008. I used to travel and teach this all over the place. Frequencies signal information into the body. It's the law of vibration. So when you're putting a frequency of a healthy frequency into the body says, oh, great, you know? So there have been things out there like the Beamer, the Healy, the pulse electromagnetic frequency devices, light therapy systems, lasers. I've used basically all those. I haven't used the Healy yet, though. And some of them are very good. Some of them are limiting. So, but while you put frequencies into your body for a specific period of time, that really helps. You know, let's say you're doing it for a few minutes. Let's say you're doing it for 20 minutes or 40 minutes. You know, and some of these devices are more effective than others, and some have limitations that you have to understand. Some of them I think are too expensive for the money for what they do, and some of them are well worth the money for what they do. A laser goes right to one point with the frequency, where something like a light therapy system can go into the entire body with frequencies and pulsing light. And some of them are just like, let's say the Healy, it's pulsing frequencies into the body. But then when you stop using it, you can easily go back to lower vibrating frequencies. You know, it's almost like, oh, eating really good, healthy food, it brings your vibration up, and then you go back to other stuff, you know. The Beamer's just using infrared light through, what's it called? The amethyst crystals, which brings that frequency up, which is great. But there's a limit to it. It's only going to do so much. So this is how frequencies work. I want you to think about this. You guys have probably all heard of Dr. Emoto's work, right, with water. And these are some of the pictures. You know, water, and when they freeze it and turn it into an ice crystal, you can see it creates these beautiful patterns, these sacred geometry patterns, like a symphony or the song about Imagine, you know, and Peace from John Lennon, or the frequency of love. But if you have toxic water, toxic thoughts like I will kill you or whatever, it's going to create distorted patterns. You know, thank you, peace, compassion, prayers actually will shift the pattern in water. Now, your body is over 70% water. So when you're pulsing good, high vibrating frequencies into your entire body is responding. So the Solfeggio frequencies are some of my favorite frequencies. They are ancient, sacred frequencies, which are the ones pictured in the circle here. We're going to talk about them more in just a moment. Okay, they're all based on sacred geometry because every single one of these numbers from 174, 285, 396, and all the way around, if you were to add them up, they all come to a 3, 6, or a 9, which Nikola Tesla talks about. Okay. So now let's talk about the sacred Solfeggio frequencies, right? These are ancient frequencies that the ancient Gregorian monks used in their chants and their prayers. They were actually toned by the divine human vessel, which could create pure tones. Now, many years later, and fairly recently, we changed the pure tone scale of frequencies to a 12-tone scale to accommodate man-made instruments. And we lost the power of those frequencies, but they're being revised. So basically, the lower one here, they relate to all the chakras as well. So it liberates yourself from hidden blockages, guilt, fear, lowers your defense mechanisms, helps you achieve your goals, comforts your skeleton and elimination systems. Then you go up to resolve trauma, clear destructive influences, an inexhaustible source of energy for change, optimizes your cellular functions, right? And then you go up to 528, the love frequency. It activates your imagination, your intention, your intuition. It's used to return human DNA to its original perfect state, releases control, allows your body to repair itself. Connect with the heart chakra. Connects your cells to communicate with this environment, enhances understanding, tolerance, communication, freshens your immune system, respiratory, circulatory system, and you can go up even higher, expressing the fifth chakra, your true authentic self, creating a pure, stable life, cleans the cells from toxins and electromagnetic radiation, opens creative blocks and finds your willpower. And then you go up even higher, awaken your cells to transform into a higher system of higher level. See through the illusions and the hidden agendas in your life. Reduce headaches, calm your nervous system. We store a lot of cellular memories and stress in our nervous system. And as you go up to the higher frequency of 963, the seventh chakra, it resets your system to its original perfect divine state, reconnects you to non-vibrational energies of the spirit world, and you experience oneness of our true nature. Now, when I used to teach light therapy, I always tell people to start with the sacred solfeggio frequencies. If you do 3 minutes with every single one of these as they go up, it totally balances, resolves things, opens up your energy field. And then when you use specific frequencies for whatever body system you want, or pain or ailment, your body will be open and ready to receive it. If you don't, and you still have a lot of blocks and stuck energy, and you're trying to put good frequencies in, its ability to get in there might be a little bit limited. So I actually have solfeggio tuning forks as well. You can get a whole set of the tuning forks, right? Now, light also carries frequencies into the body 1,000,000 times faster than electricity can. But I want to tell you something. When you use a frequency device that doesn't have light, I mean, yes, you can put frequencies into your body. That's great. But when you add the element of light, it increases your circulation, increases the nitric oxide in your body, which is like the chi in your body, relieves pain and inflammation. But think about something here, okay? Our visible light spectrum is only 2% of all available light. Think about this, that little bit between ultraviolet and infrared, we see the rainbow light. That's what we can see. But what we don't see is we can't see ultraviolet light. We can't see X-rays. We can't see cosmic rays. We can't see infrared, whether it's near or far infrared. We don't see microwaves. We don't see radar. We don't see radio waves. We don't see broadcast. We don't see EMFs. There's a whole spectrum of light that we do not see. Okay, we really only see a very narrow spectrum with our limited 3D senses. Just like we only hear a certain range, beyond that we can't hear. Okay, so, and there are different nanometers of light. Creates wavelengths. They do not necessarily create frequencies, they create wavelengths. And the wavelengths go into your body at different depths. So, yeah. Good. Yeah, so great. Yes, it's a good, we will have, I am going to end up uploading this, just so you know, onto YouTube for people. Okay, because I think it's really important for people to get this, right? So, and where I was at with that is light is a wavelength. So if you have something like infrared, which is a longer wavelength, it actually goes into the denser material of the body, like the bones, tissues, joints. I mean, not tissues, joints, teeth. Red goes into the soft material, like the organs, the glands, the tissues. And like a blue or violet light is a shorter wavelength, and it's great for the nervous system, great for the skin. It's also extremely antibacterial. So these things are great. Okay, let's go on. So sound healing, that's becoming more and more popular because we understand that everything is frequency. Sound healing can balance the right and left brain. You should live in a balanced right and left brain. Some people are more right brain, some people are more left brain, some people can be very balanced. Sound healing can initiate self-healing, can release energetic blocks. You can connect with the hidden power of sound. It can cleanse and detoxify the cells at a cellular level. Sound, vibration, even if you don't hear it and it's the vibration, you can do that. It can deepen your sleep and activate lucid dreaming. You can establish harmonic resonance with higher frequencies. You can use brainwave entrainment for higher success and abundance. I have some apps on my phone for brainwave entrainment that you can meditate to using sound and frequencies. It's absolutely awesome. Okay. Okay, so somebody's asking, how long does it take to learn how to use solfeggio tuning forks? What are some of the best light systems available? So these are things that, yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of different systems out there. And I've been using them, and I've been traveling and teaching them for years. And I used to teach advanced certification courses for light and frequencies. I was kind of known for frequencies and using all different kinds of frequencies for healing for probably the last 13 years. So, and light systems have really come down in price, but I look at some of the systems now that have been coming out, and they're too expensive for what they're giving you. I just can't support that necessarily because they don't necessarily have to be. So anyway, if you want some information like that, send me an email and I can be happy to share some info with you. Okay. Now, holographic frequencies. I use these for healing because I love frequencies. What I'm noticing for people in my practice, I've been using my health practice for over 30 years now as a naturopath, master herbalist, iridologist, kinesiologist. And what I'm seeing is people's health challenges are so much more complex than they ever used to be. And supplements are not quite doing it for people. You know why? Because for one thing, there's too many toxins in our system and we have too many EMFs, electromagnetic pollution, basically from all of our Wi-Fi and electronics and devices and stuff. So when we use frequency patches, I use the ones from Nature's Frequencies. My site here is bioresonantfrequencies.com. But a simple patch, actually I have several. I have some, I wear these patches during the day. So a simple patch can be infused with over 100 frequencies, and they can stay on the body for days, even a couple of weeks. I can shower with them. I only change them if they fall off. You don't have to remember to take expensive supplements and swallow a bunch of capsules 3 times a day or whatever it is. So we have frequency patches that have numerous frequencies. My favorite one is called the relief patch. It's great for pain and inflammation. Phenomenal. I've thrown my back out or hurt my knee, or even if I got poison ivy, I put it on there, or bee sting, anything. And it's like instant relief. Migraines is a patch for migraines, which is phenomenal. Sleep, you can either put a couple of patches on your temple or right on your vagus nerve on your neck and go to sleep. These I take off in the morning. and put them back on the sheet, and I can use them over and over again until it's time to change it, usually a week or more. The nitric oxide ones, I have some on because I've always had a challenge with my cardiovascular system. It's in my family and from a lot of stress, but these just keep my cardiovascular system open. It increases nitric oxide, which they consider your chi. It reduces inflammation, opens up the arteries. I also use immunity patches. They're clear round patches that strengthens my immune system. I don't worry about it. I go out and about and all over the place. They have one called Revive, which will revive an exhausted system. There's a new one called Balance Plus, which I love. They even have CBD patches to stimulate your endocannabinoid system without having any chemicals in your blood, which is great, especially for people that would ask, oh, what if I have to take a drug test at work or something like that? You don't have to worry about it. So, but also they have EMF holographic shields that you can put on the back of your phone, your router, your smart meters, your TV. I keep one on the dashboard of my car because I use GPS in my car. And it infuses all these frequencies to balance the body. But these have been charged to protect against 5G. Now, I've been using EMF protection since the year 2000. And I studied it. I used it in my practice. I could test people. And I have a lot of devices that were fairly expensive. But the problem is we have so much more. Now that 5G came out, they didn't eliminate 2G and 4G. They just added to it. All the smart meters that are on everybody's homes nowadays, when they put that into my neighborhood, it was like, whoa. I've always been sensitive to energy. I can feel energy, always have. And I could not sleep because it was like, whoa, way too much information carrying waves in the air. I had to move. It was 15 months before I moved, and I no matter what I took, I couldn't sleep. But you can neutralize the damaging effect of all this radiation from electronic devices. They are aggressive information carrying waves. Our human body is used to the Schumann resonance, which is a very slow, gentle wave, which is the frequency of nature. All mammals and our brains go balance with the frequency of the Schumann wave. So that can be helpful. My favorite is the earthing card, which is an indestructible little card. It's made out of carbonite. It's about the size of a credit card. And it is infused with well over 100 frequencies, but even the frequencies to neutralize 5G. I never leave home without it. I either tuck it in my pocket or in my pants, or you can tuck it in your bra, whatever. I put it underneath my pillow, inside my pillowcase, so I don't lose it. When we first had the problem with the smart meters and I couldn't sleep for months and months and months and months, and I've tried everything. The minute I got my earthing card, for one thing, I did a vital scan test to test myself. And that night I put it underneath my pillow. I wanted to see what my baseline was. I put it under my pillow and I could feel it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I hope this doesn't keep me awake all night. I slept like a baby for the first time in over a year. So it's great. So they're also programmed to mitigate damage from EMFs, especially 5G. So, and I had some pendants that were like $250 when I bought it way back when, like the, what is it? Clara's pendant. There's a number of different ones, different companies that I've used, and they just were not strong enough for what we have now. So these I just think are great, because why take a bunch of supplements? Because a lot of supplements nowadays have all kinds of fillers and chemicals in it. And even with all the chemtrails that we have, our water, even our organic plants, they're not totally pure anymore. So anyway, this is something that you can use for frequencies for healing if you want. If you want, go to bioresonantfrequencies.com, bioresonantfrequencies.com, and email me if you want more information, and I'm happy to help you, or give me a call and I can talk to you about what might be best for you. They have great packages and deals, and they're actually very affordable. So if you take charge of your health and increase your vibration, as you see, you can be completely empowered. Increase your vibration, expand your awareness, drink plenty of clean water, fresh water, breathe deeply, We don't breathe as deep as we should. Get more oxygen into your cells. Get into the sunshine. Absorb that divine light energy. Spend time in nature. Go hug a tree. Lay on the grass. Put your feet on the grass and sit outside to meditate. And eat well. Eat good, healthy food from nature. And help yourself to sleep well. And you'll have vibrant health and vitality for many years. And again, just so you know, if you keep your vibration high, you will not get a virus or disease, you know? So that's really important to understand. Life becomes more joyful, more fulfilling when we heal deeply and holistically, which includes our body, our mind, our soul, right? So I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to either unmute yourself or you can put it into the chat. So you can also visit my website. My regular website I've had since the 90s is ultimatehealing.com. I also have Awaken My Wisdom, which are classes, courses. I'll be doing more webinars for expanding consciousness. And biofield clearing is the training that I teach. I have another course starting in July, and then I'll do another one in October and November. That's really for identifying, doing deep release and inner healing. It's phenomenal. And then if you really want the holographic frequency patches, you can also visit Bioresonant Frequencies. So my email, you can email me at info@ultimatehealing.com. It's pretty easy to remember. And my phone number is 828-777-JANE, right? So if you want, make sure you're on our mailing list because I will be doing more webinars. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me put this, okay. All right. Just opening up for more people here. Good. Anybody have any comments, questions, anything you'd like to say or share? And you may have, I've seen a number of people signed up. I'm doing another free webinar in a couple of weeks on how to supercharge your immune system, which is going to be a lot of great information. Also, I'm doing one in July on all the different ways to activate your vagus nerve to calm the stress in your body. Okay, so you are welcome. Thanks. Thanks everyone for being here. I'm getting few different messages here. Great. Thank you guys. I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to try to figure out how to get the PDF to all you guys. And one of the things I did was I made a mistake by doing this as a Zoom meeting instead of a webinar, which isn't automated. So I have to go through over 40 people that registered to see if I can send you the PDF. Okay. But if you stay on my mailing list, I'm going to put this up on YouTube. If you want to share it with friends or family, you're welcome to do that. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. Let me stop my share here. Oh, wow. Look at all the people on here. That's amazing. Woo. Okay. Great. Great. I'm glad you guys were here. Good. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Victoria. Thank you. You guys are good. So take extra good care of yourself, increase your vibration and your frequency and increase your power. And we will all come through this with flying colors and really be awesome because now is the time to do that. Thank you so much. I can share the PDF here, huh? I have to figure out how to do that. Anyway, I will figure out how to do that. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. All right. Bye-bye.